10 seconds.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the View from the Dead Box. This is our bi-weekly podcast coming to you guys.
Everyone just missed a great conversation we just had.
Well, I mean, you can cut that in.
We'll go back. We'll circle back around to it because a lot of people won't believe you anyway. But we'll throw that in later. But I was just in my head. Don't let me forget.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah,
it was solid. But yeah, the bi-weekly podcast.
Right. I mean, that'd be
That's
right.
That's right. Yeah, we are consistent with the bi-weekly now. This I can do. We were solid weekly for a good year and a half. Like the first year we missed 3 uploads. Yeah, which was solid. And then everything got busy. And I was like, okay, bi-weekly. We got to do bi-weekly. Like be honest, topics get tough.
Yeah,
topics are getting slim. And I'm looking through here. I'm like, oh shit, these are not good fucking topics.
Speaking of topics,
let's
just jump right in.
Okay.
Philly.
How was the grass?
Great.
You can look fucking dope for those pictures, huh?
Yeah, great. It was great.
Now, question before we get too deep into the grass. You played there last year, correct?
Yep.
Okay, just making sure. And it was
so this is me, Rangel, Tom Cole. We were all talking last year about this, and he says that they put a contract out to lease that place for, I think he said either 8 or 10 years. I could be mistaken for the length of time, but so he said, and they plan on growing that place to like a really nice setup. Well, when I was there, you could tell how the grass was planted. It was perfectly planted in rows, right? Now, there wasn't a lot of grass, if any, there when I was there. It was hard, like dirt style soil, but they were growing there. And he did say that once Philly was done, that it's just gonna be farmland. It's gonna be grown like really well all year round. It's gonna be great. And judging by day 2 of the pro field, the grass was still holding up and was still looking really good. Actually, we see pro events all the time, all the ones I've been to. By day 2, so not even by day 1, but by day 2, they destroy that entire area. This is what I guess is too much travel place, or too much like back and forth. But to me, I still do not understand why even just the pros don't play on a solid turf field. I've never understood that. I feel like these places that they own outright, there are places that they have that, and but now they could own places they wanted to, or they play at, like they play in Giant Sports Park right now, new, but that's all turf. You know what I mean? And it's great. But like Philly, 10 years, maybe they're not allowed to or something, but that place they're playing out in Florida now, it's just like, I feel like I'm like, damn, dude, it would be a better event at some of these places if they could play on turf, real turf. But what we played in Philly last year was kind of bullshit. It is what it is. We knew that going in, how it was going to be. We had a heads up on it. But he stuck by his word. He said that there would be grass, and there was grass. But I love the layout. Played really base, like equal both sides. What'd you think of all the guys that played?
Okay, so I watched literally the finals yesterday. That's
it.
That's all I had time to watch. And it was last second too. I actually cut in like second point, maybe. I mean, it really wasn't a close match by any means, but so I didn't get to watch a lot of the play. Did you play on it this weekend, or did you play on your layout for the tournament?
No, I actually wanted to play on my layout that I designed for the event because, sorry, I'm responding about that. I haven't played it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I ran the event the first week. Second week, everybody took off because we had the SP, or the guys had the SPL the first week, our event the second week. So they wanted a week off. So everybody took the week off. And then this is the third week, which technically should have been my week to practice because I'm playing the MVPS with the 850 guys this weekend coming up. And I wanted to play on it, but didn't get a chance to. So I watched literally I watched honestly almost every single match all weekend long on the stream, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So not that I can help me out too much, but
I mean, it gives you I mean, it gives you an idea, I would say. Now, granted, I think the pros play different than divisional guys, and I think everyone would agree with that. You'll see every event you go to, the divisional guys play a field one way, and then you'll see like D2 and up play a completely different way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think it gives an idea. Now, obviously, I'm sure it's a very traditional layout.
Yeah, that's why I liked it. I did like that. If Philly's layout wouldn't have been like that, that's probably the design I was going to go with originally on our field. But since they went with the traditional layout, I was like, well, then I'm going to design something wild for my event. But it played pretty equal. Both sides were, you could push very fast. You could hold up in the pocket a good bit if you want to. But that's what I like about those layouts. Some of these layouts where they put a lot of shit in the middle, they typically don't allow for like big, strong, fast game plans. They funnel so many bodies up in the front, up in the mid, and it's just not really my game to see, honestly. But
could you push the middle really hard in this if you needed to? You think?
Almost every single point guys did.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, there was 4 wedges and 2 bricks in the middle, so you could definitely still play that. And
the wedges, I'm sorry to interrupt you, were angled to the middle of the field, correct? I'm just trying to go off memory. I think so. Okay.
Yeah.
I need to pull it up, but.
Yeah, but so, and the way the snake is the corner really couldn't guard you. They have to run out like 5 to 8 foot out of bounds or out to the side, shoot down it, and the knuckles are offset to the outside, so you can literally almost crawl all the way up. And it looked like the only thing that was going to stop the snake from crawling around the viper into there too was the snake side wedge standing up, shooting down on top of it. So now that I say that, I believe the wedge was actually slanted to the outside on the snake side. I think so.
Okay.
But anyways,
I'll pull it up later.
Yeah. Anyways, so that's another thing to stop the guy, and I'm like, man, this is crazy how nothing can really stop that guy from going in, they can stop him going in, but once he's in, you have to go into the snake with him. If not, he's going to come to your snake. And a lot of these pros were like pussyfooting around the snake when there's nobody on the snake. Like guy would be in the juice box, which is like the god. They'd be in the juice box standing over the top just shooting because they really couldn't get shot too much from it. And there'd be a guy in the snake like looking in the 1 or the 2 looking for shots. And it's like they were so worried about going all the way down. Then some guys would get in there, fucking fly down and just destroy people. I'm like, but a lot of guys were pushing D side really hard too. They would be in the 300 or 400 super early. Like it was kind of crazy.
Well, I was going to say, I do have the layout pulled out now, and the slants are all inside.
Okay.
Even on the snake side.
So they're standing up on the flat side on the outside of the wedge, shooting down into the viper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes more sense. Yeah. But those Doritos up in the center, I guess that would be your 4, your 3 and your 4. I'm sorry. Yeah. They're close. They look like they're very close together. Like the 3 almost looks like if you can touch the 3, you can fall into the 4.
A lot of guys are going to the 100 on break, which a lot of guys are getting shot going to the 100 as well, but they would go to the 100 on the break. And then when they get a second, they would dive or crawl on the outside of the 100 all the way up into the 300, just skip the 200 in general.
Yeah, because the 200 was a baby. So that makes sense. Yeah. This looks like a very good layout. Like now that obviously I watched it on the live stream, but looking at a live stream versus it being static here in front of me is completely different. So. Yeah.
The boys in blue back again.
Yep.
Right.
Let me see here. Now, okay, before we talk about Dynasty, I do want to say one thing. ML Kings made Sunday again. Yeah. That's pretty impressive for that. You know what I mean? Like, they get a lot of shit, I feel like. And maybe in years past, everyone always bashes the low team. But they are being a consistent middle of the pack. You know what I mean? At least 2 of the 3 events that I can remember off the top of my head. I don't know where they're standing. Yeah. But, so, I don't know. I just wanted to say that. I noticed that yesterday when I was watching the game, watching the scores. I was like, that is
Revo. I feel bad for Revo because I'm always pulling for Revo. Yeah. And they got a lot of their guys snatched from their ass, and they're playing really good for what they have right now. Yeah. They're playing really good. NRG is doing really well for where they didn't do amazing this event, but from where they were last season, they're doing great now.
NRG is sitting at 11th. You said Revo is sitting at 5th, and ML Kings are sitting in 7th. Those are 3 teams that I don't want to say no one expects it. They're pro players. They can every single of these teams can win an event, no matter what it is. But those are 3 teams you don't see make Sunday a lot, and they are all 3 of them are doing phenomenal for that for anybody. Really.
I'm glad. I literally said before X Factor played Heat, I said, I pray to God that Heat gets in the finals versus Dynasty. Like that's what I want to see. I'm tired of seeing X Factor get their shit pushed in by Dynasty every single event. I'm tired of it. I want to see Tyler ultimately face down his old guys that he turned. I don't want to say he turned his back on. He did say he did it for his family with the money, which those boys at Heat got some money behind them.
They got motorcycle, man.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So, but listen, they got shat on. They got fucking mercied in finals. That's embarrassing. Like you get mercied for the finals match, it's GG, brother.
Yeah, but how pumped are you?
Considering Revo, I think it was Revo. Yeah, they came back. I'm pretty sure that's the match we were driving back from the field. Dynasty was down to Revo. And came
I saw this. I didn't see this, but I saw people talking about it.
Yeah. Huge comeback at the very end to win it. Like, that's wild. Like,
that's when it makes tournaments fun. Like,
I'm pretty sure Revo would have been right there with Heat. Like,
oh yeah, for sure. Especially if they put up such a tough fight against Dynasty, obviously, and then Dynasty kind of just had their way with Heat. Like, I mean, didn't really make a difference. Like,
yeah,
what was it? It was 7-1. Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy, man, to watch Tyler play, like of how I personally, I think, I don't know if I haven't said this yet, but personally, I do feel like as of right now, if I had to pick the best player in paintball, it'd probably be Tyler Harmon. Like,
that's
no
a
doubt.
Tough question.
No, it's not even tough to me. Like,
I mean, he's very good. I would definitely,
when it comes down to pure out gunfighting, like if I'm sending out right now overtime, one-on-ones, there's not another guy I would send out besides Tyler Harmon. It's not happening.
Yeah, I mean,
first of all, there's a reason that he wins all the 1v1 events, right? Second of all, but this weekend I seen him win 2 monster points way down on bodies. Him and Chad George, I think it was him and Chad George won a 2-on-4 and a 2-on-3 back-to-back points. Like, just fucking melted these dudes. It's just wild. And it was against who was it against? A really good team. I forget who the fuck it was. Was it Infamous? Maybe Infamous.
I'm trying to see who they played.
It was like in the quarters. I want to say it was.
Impact. They played Impact in the quarters.
I didn't watch them play Impact, so might have been somebody else.
They played Level in the prelims and then X Factor in semis.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, so maybe it was Impact, but either way, they beat the dudes 2-on-4 in a really bad situation. And it got down to 1-on-2, and he literally just fucking shat on these dudes.
Yeah.
My God.
Well, and he did play Revo in the beginning of the day on Friday. I'm sorry. Okay. And it was 3-2. So that, I mean, if that does go to show you, that would have been a very good match there too. Yes. If Revo would have pulled it out, like.
Yeah.
So now, granted, he beat him, but you know what I mean. It's one of those that could go either way.
Yeah. If the year to stop right now, I'm giving the MVP the straight up Tyler Harmon. He is that Houston Heat like squad is starred up, and he is dragging them dudes into the fucking mud. It's so crazy too because I don't really know what happened to Fedorov wasn't there, and what's the fat boy's name? Yaya. Yaya wasn't there either. So
no, that's a good. I didn't even think about that honestly.
Yeah, they didn't play.
It's one of those things when you have a team full of that many stars.
But Fedorov's going to play.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm not sure. Someone was weird about that. Spica didn't play as much as I thought he was going to play either. He got some spins early, and maybe they just didn't spin him up as much because he didn't have as much practice as some of the other guys had with them. You know what I mean? Because they did pick Spica up last minute. Well, not last minute, but like a week or two before the event. So, but yeah.
My only argument with your and I don't know what player I would pick because again, Dynasty's full of a lot of studs. You know what I mean? Heat's filled with a lot of studs. The only reason he can't win the MVP is if the season ended right now, they are still in second place. That would be my argument to that.
Yeah, but just because his team isn't in first place doesn't mean
I think MVPs always have to come from the winning team.
No.
I don't know. I don't know if it's like that in other sports. I'm pretty sure it is in baseball.
I never agree with that because you are the most, like, let's say basketball reference. LeBron played with some like terrible Cavaliers team. Like I'm talking about fucking awful teams, and took them to the finals. I think like 7 or 8 appearances in a row. Now 3 or 4 of those, they had Kevin Love and they had Kyrie Irving, but 2 or 3 of those, you can look at this roster and you don't even watch basketball, but you don't know any of these dudes. Other rosters, you've heard of some names before. And he drugged these motherfuckers into the finals with, I'm talking about terrible people.
Did they win?
Like, and is he? No, they didn't win.
Anthony doesn't get MVP.
He still get the MVP. Yeah, he
should.
MVP.
That's such bullshit.
What do you mean?
No, I get what you're saying, but to me, it's almost. I'm not saying I am
but
right.
But that's why they award the MVP before the season's done. It's you know what I mean. Like there's a regular season MVP and there's a finals MVP. Like,
I mean, I'm not saying my idea is right. I'm just saying I feel like there should only be one, and it has to come from the winning team.
Yeah, but what happens if what happens if Aaron Judge is playing for the fucking Kansas City Royals and they go, they win 30 games all year, they get blasted, but he has 85 home runs and batting like a fucking a 45. You know what I mean? Like,
no one would look MVP. At him. No one would look at him. I can guarantee it. They'd be he had a great season, and that's as far as it would go.
They would pull the stats up and go, and they look at the stats and go, this man hit record home runs, batted the highest average in the league. You know what I mean? Most scores ran in. They would go, okay, like that right there is the most valuable player in the league because especially in baseball, I don't see how you can't do that because baseball is typically like it's a one-man show. It's always 1v1.
I mean, to a degree,
pitcher versus batter. To me, that's how I always see it is.
Yeah, so, I mean. Most of the game, yeah.
If a guy comes up and cranks out, 60 plus, I think isn't like 60 like high numbers for
60.
Like that's yeah, right. That's like Aaron Judge, Trout, like that. These are like low 50s, high 60s is top leaders. But if you're hitting that many home runs, you're already probably in. MVP.
I'm not saying I disagree. I'm just saying I still feel like I feel like you got to complete the mission. It's like you were good. But
that's why there's a regular season MVP, and then there's
is that how they do it? I don't ever pay much attention.
100%. At baseball, at football, NFL, same way.
Okay, I mean, it makes sense. I get it. I just, you know what I mean? It's like
because you can have a player like Tom Brady could throw 55 touchdowns, 2 picks all year, therefore like 5,500 yards, but his team let up fucking 60 points on defense, and he lost. That's not on him. You know what I mean? So like he would win the MVP this season, and then at the end of the year, you win Super Bowl MVP and so on and so forth. But yeah, so I think
how can you win?
He gets it, huh?
Can you win both?
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%.
Okay. Yes. Okay, that was my next thing.
I think he actually has won both, and I think
as long as you can win both, I'll be on board.
Aaron Rodgers actually won both as well.
If you can't win both, I'm not on board with it.
Yeah, you can definitely. I mean, if you win the Super Bowl, you have a chance of winning both.
Yeah, I mean that's as long as you win both, I'm fine with it.
Yep.
You go, he gets it. You're dick. Let's see here. So we covered this. What's the other big news in paintball? I know you know.
LV2.
It's the LV2. I mean, come on. People have wanted LV2 for how many years now? At least 5. At least 5, right?
I'm tired of hearing Jack Wood cry about people shitting on the LV2 already. It looks like it'd be a great gun. I was this close. Literally the buying one Thursday. One of the stores popped up and said, hey, we got 3 colors in stock because we're ass and nobody wants these weird ass colors. It was like black and purple. Then it was a weird gold and brown, which looked odd, but their digital pictures looked different than the real life pictures did.
Yeah.
And I literally looked at gold and brown for about 10 minutes. And I'm like, I looked at it and I sent it to her. She's like, you don't need another gun. She's like, that's just a standard color gun. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, yeah, you're probably right, because it's not going to hold its value. It's going to literally instantly drop value because it's not like these are hard to get. They're already literally people already have them and playing with them. So, you know what I mean? I'm like, well, I'll probably buy it for $1,600. It's going to drop to $1,300 instant like a car. Yeah. I'll play with it for a month. It'll be $1,200. People will be selling them online. So I'm like, I'll wait till like a private label or a Twister gets out and I'll get a whole one of those early. But
wait, Shane ordered one, I believe. I don't know if
Alec has one. Alec ordered one. Shane ordered one. There's a couple of them coming to the field. So I'll just shoot one of them.
I'm interested in that too, but
they seem to do really well out of the box. But those guns are really good anyways. You know what I mean?
I watched someone. I don't know if you ever watched C Noddings on YouTube. He they're like a mid-level D3, maybe D2 team, but they've always kind of like been in that range. I don't know what team he plays for, but I don't know if they own a shop also, or like a field, or if it's a private home field or whatever it is. But it's always, but they had one, and they had already part swapped it, and it was almost like a like two different, I'm gonna say clear, but so two different silvers, like a matte and a gloss.
The one he shot in the backyard, 14 pods.
Yeah.
I didn't know that bum who that guy is, but I just watched that video by accident yesterday.
Yeah, I've
watched 14 pods of paint in the backyard.
That's impressive. That's a lot of paint.
Yeah.
I mean, now this is my question. Obviously, for years, everyone shot poppets for the reliability and the air efficiency, and I think we all kind of saw that die off within the past 5-6 years. Like, spool valves became very reliable and more efficient.
Yeah.
Do you think this could be kind of towards the end of a poppet? We haven't had a poppet gun released in a very long time.
These guns, they're fucking done.
Yeah, I agree. As much as I love them and have loved
nobody
them,
should be shooting these guns anymore.
Yeah.
You should just buy one, put it on the wall, and just stare at it and like never shoot it ever again. I mean, as a bag player, you could probably get away with it.
Yeah.
But I've already preached this to all our guys who are constantly diving, sliding, playing in shit weather. Like, those guns don't belong on the field.
Yeah. 10 years ago, it was a little bit of a different story, just because you needed the reliability. You needed a gun that, use your dad's field as an example, you could throw it through the sand and the dirt.
You needed an AK-47.
Yeah, and it would work all day long. I mean, now, is this ego going to break with a guy doing that? Probably not. You know what I mean? It's going to wear the life on it, but it's just one of those things. As much as I hate it, and I was always a poppet valve guy, always playing in the back too, but then like spool valves got, like I said earlier, very reliable and relatively air efficient. Like, and at playing at your dad's house, the air efficiency was always a big thing for all of us getting 2K fills. We were like, well, we need egos, like, and bob logs. Like, that's all we can shoot. But
I see everybody comparing this gun to the G6R.
Yeah, I think it's a little fucked up.
I don't.
Mean, I mean, it looks like it.
The G6R still shoots a little bit softer. It's as air efficient as the G6R was 11 years ago.
Those guns have 10 years worth of wear on them now.
Yeah, and guess what?
They still work. Except mine. Every bob log gun I've owned has been a piece, with the exception of my Force. That gun was not a piece of shit. It was just heavy, and I didn't like it. It was not a bad gun. I gotta put that out there. But my Mark, I had a Mark 6, Mark 7, a Vice. The Vice was probably the worst one of them all. The G6R was kind of on me because I couldn't afford an SLP rig at the time, and I just ran higher air pressure through it.
Yeah,
but I will say this: it didn't break.
Huh?
It didn't break. I would blow the fucking O-ring out of the ASA every time, and I was going through Shane's rebuild kits left and right, and I ended up trading it for a GO2 or something. But that was on me. I just
always said that you had to have an SLP on all bob long guns, like a super low pressure, or even like any reg below 400. It was okay. If you had a 550 to 750 reg, or even 850 now.
I was probably running an 850.
Yeah, they had big problems. You know what I mean? Especially we shot cockers a lot. Like, they love mid to high pressure regs, so they want.
Yeah, I want to say, oh god, I was probably using what was the real short ones? The myth regs. That's probably what I was running.
Oh yeah, those are 800 psi. Yeah, the Gorilla.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what I had. I think I had it on a 68, but
I had one on a 45.
Because I like short-ish setups. Like, I want my tank.
I was close yesterday to buying a 68. One of the VM guys posted up just the bottle, and it was an infamous bottle, and he wanted $120 for it. I'm like, that's a good deal. And it was like 4 months old. I'm like, oh shit, I'll buy that. I was gonna buy it just to have it in case I play back a little more, or two. I was like, I want to buy that just to have it. And we started talking, and he's like, yeah, I bought this 80 a little while back, and it's an 80, and I didn't know it. I'm like, man, fuck. And he's like, I'm like, thought it was a 68, dude, my bad. And he's like, well, I thought you were upgrading to an 80 from a 68. I'm like, no. I got a 45, and I'm going to a 68 in case I need it, like later on down the road. And he's like, you still shoot a 45? I'm like, yeah, my gun shoots 5 pods of paint and a hopper on it. I'm like, I don't ever carry more than that out in the field. He's like, oh. I'm like, if I shoot 5 pods of paint and a hopper and the game's not over, I'm like, we got problems. I'm like, I'm not playing the back. I'm like, so I'm a 1, and I shot 5 pods and a hopper, and if the game's not over, we're not all dead. Yeah, we gotta figure out what's going on here.
I always feel like that. I mean, a lot of players carry an obscene amount of paint these days, but I really do feel like any more than 8 pods at a max. You know what I mean? Like, that's a lot. Like, I have.
Yes. You have to force yourself to shoot that much.
I do, yes. Every time we go to cup and they're like, hey, Mike, carry more paint. I'm like, I mean, sure, I'll carry it, but I ain't gonna shoot it. I mean, I'll have it. Yeah. I've never shot more than 5 pods in a hopper. Like
Jamie came to me last event and he was playing some like the one a lot, and he kept taking out like 6, 6, 7, 6. And he came off, he's like, I really shouldn't take like 2 pods down. He's like, I'm coming off with 5 pods and 4 pods every single. I haven't shot more than 3 pods a game today. I'm like, just take 5 out and just rock with 5 and see how it feels.
Yep.
I'm like, you might just be fine with 5. He's like, I gotta take 6 just in case. He never shot more than 3. It's like,
the tech PB guy, that was something back in the day. Like he watched and he gave out a lot of, I think, very poor information, but something from him. He was always like, the moment I shoot 4 pods, I'll carry 5. Like the moment I shoot 5, I'll carry 6. And that's kind of like what I've always done in my head. Like I used to could very reliably go out there with 4 pods and a hopper. I would carry a bigger hopper, but that was fine. And then eventually I shot 4 pods. I was like, okay, let me carry 5. And I started carrying 5 regularly, shooting 4. And then I was like, okay, cool. And I got a 5-pack. And then I was like, well, I shot 5 one time, so I carry 6. Unless we're playing an event, I normally carry 7, but I don't think I've ever come close to shooting all 7. I bet I've shot 5 and had the 6th one in my hand or something. Like, still, like, I mean, 200 rounds in a loader, 30 per pod, 140 per pod. I mean, that's a lot of fucking paint. That's a half case of paint, basically. Like, that's bananas.
Today or yesterday, I played a lot more bully ball than I typically do. We were just kind of mixing up people playing, and I was playing the 2 behind Carson a lot, and I would like they would load into the 200 or 300, and I would literally just sit there, and like a lot of times, if depending who I was playing, I would literally just sit there and shoot 2 and 3 pods of paint on the outside of the corners of both the bunkers, playing like a 2-on-1 situation, and just literally not let them even fucking breathe on the outside and just stay on them. And Carson been going the snake, and he's like looking, and he's like trying to find somebody. I'm like, listen, the outside's all clear. Just check off the middle. They're all yours. I'm like, they will not look out. I promise. I'm like, the whole fucking time, just dumping out. I'm like, they're not gonna look. And he must have did like 3 different run throughs down the wire. It's like boom, boom. I felt bad for Alec. He got dunked like fucking 6 times yesterday, and like 4 of them were against us. He would go in like a 200 or 300 to get up, and I would just sit there and just edge his bunker.
Yeah, dang it.
And he would like. For a second, he'd be like, man, fuck this. He'd go to the inside, and I'm like, and then either I would cat and mouse him, I would shoot him like, hey, you're good to go now, Carson. And then with Weston fell behind, I would sit there and just edge on both the whole fucking time. I'm like, all right, like no more coming out. Like it's time for Carson to go through for run throughs. Like,
don't you hate that though? Like 10 years ago, you would have never fucking played like that or wanted to. You wouldn't have asked anybody to play like that. You would have been I hate that. Like everything is so zoned now. Like it is what it is. Like you have to do it. Like it's been difficult, I would say, for a lot of us to be able to transition that, where you get to a spot and you go, my job is to shoot right here and just not let this guy go. And that's the only time I ever need a lot of paint, when I'm just shooting a fucking gap for 2.5 minutes of a point. And now can bitches about it a lot. He's like, I don't want to shoot that gap, but I know I have to, so I'm gonna go up there and I'm gonna shoot that gap and feel pointless for a whole match. I'm like, it sucks. I mean, it's fucking miserable. Trying to think. So we bashed on the LV2.
Flexes, dude.
Flexes. You sent me a picture, and you look pretty fucking dope, I will have to say. Like,
of course, this is the one day that Drew played all day, so I didn't have any pictures of me like of in-game use in it.
That's so funny. That specific one, I don't know what I'm looking at it on my phone. I don't know what strap that is on there.
Is it a Hawaiian strap?
Yeah, well, whatever it is, you need that strap because it goes with that fucking bandana you're wearing very nicely. And I'm not big on the headgear.
Yeah,
I have a few straps, but nothing all Charm City low stuff. But that looks good. You need to get a flex. Like, do you want to come over here? You can come to my parents and look through all my shit. Like, I got some stuff.
I literally would have to wear about 12 different frames.
I know you
find the frame that has to fit me perfectly, because the 4 that Shane rang out, every single one was different. Even the 2 you had with him were different. Every single one fit like different to me. I'm like, God damn it, dude. And I think of either one you had or one he had finally felt good on me. I'm like, oh, this feels better. But I literally would wear them. I'm like, man, I can't
And
do this
your
shit.
issue is the thickness of the phone, right? Like, so because it makes it sit too far off your face.
Some of them, yeah.
Is that
but
what
some
it is?
of y'all's frames are like bent super like tight. Like the like y'all's lenses are more like
Okay, what I think that
tight.
is, I can't confirm. I'll have to bring. I think that's based on the bottoms, believe it or not, because the old style bottoms are a little wider. The new style ones are a little narrower. So to me, you know what I mean?
That's going to bend. That's going to bend.
I think. I mean, that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
I'll have to bring. I'll set one up, and I'll let you see like one with a new style bottom, because what he had there, those are new style bottoms. I mostly wear the old style bottoms.
Yeah.
So that would
the one I sent you. That's a new style bottom.
That's a new style bottom. Yeah. So that would be more narrow.
But that one's not. But I've seen them. I've seen the ones you're talking about, like that are way more narrow. It's not. It's not like that. This one's still kind of a little bit wide.
Okay. I'll have to look at his.
I had to literally have to wear like all the frames to find the correct ones to fit me, because that really fucking bugs me. And I wear my masks super tight, like literally whether I don't like them to move. When I'm running and diving and slide, I don't want them to mask to jiggle, fucking move. I don't want them to move at all. You know what I mean? Some of these flexes, I'll have the strap, like a brand new strap, all the way tight, and put them on. They're like still kind of like comfortable. I'm like, I don't wear this mask to be comfortable. I wear it so I don't lose my fucking eyes.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Oh, I see a lot of guys that flexes diving and they're like pushing the mask up, getting in the bunker. I'm like, that's what I don't want. I'm like, my push, I put it on. It's like a fucking helmet. It's like
those dudes are probably wearing very old straps, I bet, because I have a few that are like stretched. Yeah, and I can't wear them. Like I bought them, and I was like, oh, cool, I got this old strap I wanted, and I go to put it on, and it's the same thing. Like it'll sit on my head, but if I like move my head around, it'll go like boop or slip all over, and I'm like,
lose my fucking mind. Yeah.
Yeah, I normally put those straps in a separate bin just so I don't ever fucking be like, oh, let me put this on, and then not try it, and then show up at the field and got a fucking worthless mask.
Yeah,
but I bet that's what that is. I'll send you some pictures of some different bottoms. I think I have some old style bottoms and new style bottoms off.
Yeah,
and they're off a frame, so you can kind of see how much they're bent in, if that makes sense. Because I bet that's what it is. I bet it's the bottoms that are predicting that, the goggle part. I think. I don't know. But that looks dope. You definitely need a flex. You're probably the only person out there without a flex.
I literally have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. I think I have 5 push masks, SLR, KLR, Command, of Contour 2. I literally have like 10 masks. Do not have a flex. I have a couple old E-Flex parts sitting around, stuff like that I used to have. But yeah, I mean, I used to have flexes way back when.
Yeah.
But I would have to go through a lot of flexes to find one that would fit me and be like comfortable to me.
We've talked about the new carbon mask. That's one that does interest me. Like,
oh, it's amazing. That mask, hands down, it's probably one of the best masks I've ever worn.
It's very ugly.
It's like shit on the outside.
Yeah.
But boy, it is super comfortable. No echo. Breathes great. Quick change lens. Like it has everything you want in a mask. But boy, it looks like hammered ass on the outside. I'm like, you guys couldn't do fucking better with this. I'm like, come on, man.
I feel like you look like Master Chief or something. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I don't want to look like Master Chief when I'm playing paintball. He's cool, but not. He's cool. He'd probably kick my ass, but
I don't want to cosplay right now.
I don't want to cosplay. I still do like, and I haven't worn any because no one really has any. And you were disappointed with them. They came out of Cup, the 2.0.
The Grill 2.0s?
Yeah, because I liked the 1.0s. I mean, we've talked about this before. So this
they're kind of weird. I don't know.
Yeah.
I was expecting a more of a revamp. That was kind of like a, hey, we got a whole bunch of old stuff. There's some extra rubber on there.
Yeah,
boom.
Let's cut the ears off and put these on there. Like, I agree.
Yeah.
I do like them because I like the originals, but they should have been a new mask or called it a 1.5. You know what I mean?
Like, that mask probably aged I can't say that because flexes have aged the best, but that has held its look the best out of all, like an aggressive look. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Out of all the masks.
I mean, profilers to me, you can still get away with. But we've said this, but they look older, but you can get away with it. But
yeah, I would have to dig to find the nice set of profilers. I've seen like 50 for sale, but they're like the gray ones that I used to have, or like red or yellow or blue. I want like black.
I want black too.
Black fucking profilers.
What colors are sitting in your dad's shop? It's a red and a blue one, I think.
It's a red and a yellow, or red and blue. Yeah. I got a snap. You got a Snapchat from Joey the other day. I seen it came in.
Yeah.
I was looking at it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I need like a black on black profiler with a fucking chrome lens on it. That's what I want.
Yeah. You need to, in your old bedroom, I don't know if they're still there. There were some fucking cockers tucked up in that attic.
Oh, really?
Closet. Yeah. There was an Oracle that me and Joey wanted to put a pumpkin on, but your dad wouldn't let us. That was like 10 years ago now, but I bet it's still there.
Need to go in there and check.
Yeah. Well, sir, that was a pretty good little podcast considering no main topics. I figured, I wrote down all these topics, but I was like, I guarantee you we're not going to have to go into them because they're going to be very easy this week with NXL ending LV1 and then the ProFlex was a little extra. But did you have anything else?
That is it.
That's awesome. I will take us out of here. Thanks for listening, watching, buying merch, not buying merch. Who checks the merch store anymore? I don't. I have no idea. If you bought something, thank you very much. I turn off my notifications because I didn't check it enough, and I was like, who cares? But thank you for that. And we're gonna get Wes into a pair of ProFlexes by the end of the season. That's the goal.
We'll see. I had to look around. Got to find some dope ones.
But all right, guys. Thanks for listening and watching. We'll catch you on the next one.
Later.